So the Nike Air Pegasus Premium, and this is the Airscape colorway, which is like a grey sort of silvery colour. And this is a new silhouette for 2025, and it's been eagerly anticipated. And obviously it's a running shoe, but part of the Pegasus lineage. And Pegasus lineage has pretty much been part of Nike's history, I think, since the early 80s. So with the details, it comes in a football grey, total orange and summit white colourway. So you can see that on here, this is kind of the white panel underneath, and then on top it's got grey. And then the orange is obviously in the Air Zoom unit and also in the heel, and little bits of hits on the tongue and also on the lace loops. And this has a full Air Zoom unit, so it kind of harkens back to, I suppose, previous Air Maxes, and so you can sort of see that on here. It looks really, really cool, and you know, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to sort of grab them and check them out. And this has also ZoomX and ReactX midsole. So ZoomX is more sort of responsive and pushing you off your foot quickly, and ReactX, as far as I know, is just mainly sort of cushioning really, and it's a slightly more denser foam compared to the ZoomX. And it's made up of all sort of synthetic materials, so there's no sort of leather paneling or anything like that. Obviously these are made as running shoes and meant to be sort of more lightweight. And the price for these is £190. So with the comfort and sizing, I'd say they're on the medium going towards the firm side, and the reason I say that is when you have them on feet, they feel nice and feel very supportive. Kind of remind me of like a Gel Nimbus 27 or whatever the latest model of that particular series is, and those have like a gel lining, as far as I remember, going on the top of the midsole, and then underneath you have like an EVA foam stack, which is soft but it doesn't compress that much, and it's mainly the gel aspect that compresses. And this is like similar to those really. You can feel like which I'm presuming is the ZoomX part, you can feel that, and you can feel the softness here, and as you sort of push down, the Air Zoom unit doesn't have too much I suppose give, and once you've got your foot in there, it tends to be being more than giving you that sort of stability. And then underneath I think it's the ReactX, as far as I can tell. And this has a good neutral arch support, like it's a runner at the end of the day, so it's not going to have too much arch support in there. It's one of those sort of trainers that's, because it's made for, I guess, running, it's got a little bit in there, but it's not like a majorly kind of contoured around your foot. And I would say no wearing time, they're pretty good to go out of the box. I think the more you wear them, obviously the midsole and outsole combination will settle in, but other than that it feels pretty good to go. The upper doesn't feel restrictive, feels very nice and breathable. You can sort of see down here, my sort of fingers poking through, and you can sort of see that. Obviously that will let in a lot of rain and wet, so just be careful of that. And it can go true to size in this, which is what I did, and I felt really comfortable going true to size, and my toe comes to about here with socks on, and I feel like that's like the perfect amount. So I'd recommend going true to size. If you've got like a narrow foot and you're kind of in between sizes on the lower end of the spectrum, potentially you could even go half size down. And this has good traction, much like any other, I suppose, Pegasus sneaker. They haven't kind of scrimped on that. It's got these almost like really sort of smaller diamond shaped patterns going all over, and it feels quite sort of soft to the touch as well, but they feel rugged, especially the back here. And I really like this Air Zoom sort of running through that as well. It looks really cool. So with the look and style, I do like the neutral colourway. I actually think the sneaker all in all just looks really cool. It's quite sort of blingy, quite sort of show offy, and that's to be expected for the price. And you've got the sort of Zoom Air all over the sneaker, and the ReactX you can sort of see at the bottom here. So all in all, it's a cool, very kind of loud sneaker, and almost reminds you of the Air Maxes of old. And it's a good sneaker for sort of spring, summertime. And also, which I forgot to mention, is this lining here is like a 3M lining, and also the laces seem to be sort of 3M by the looks of it, from it's reflecting off the light. So which is very cool, especially when you're running in the dark. So I like that. And I think you can wear these casually. I think this is maybe what a lot of people will do, and it's quite sort of popular in that respect. I think this particular sneaker just has that sort of wow factor to it in terms of its look. So I think a lot more people will be wearing these casually versus running, and maybe even sort of multi-purpose. And it comes with the grey laces in there, but you could also put in some white or orange laces as well, in my opinion. So with the final thoughts, I do like the unique design. As you can probably tell as I'm sort of speaking about it, I'm a big fan, and I think they look really, really nice and really cool and very futuristic, and it's probably the first sneaker that I'm kind of like, oh, this is a major design change, and obviously going back to the older times of Air Max and introducing this full length zoom, which you probably saw in an Air Max 97 for example, but at the same time it's still got that wow factor for me. And it's great for sort of casual wear as well. So I think because of the fact that the 3 different levels of technology of the midsole combination, it just proves very sort of stable on foot. So I don't think I'd get fatigue wearing these. What I will say is obviously the front sort of has that sort of pointy up feel to it, so it does feel quite sort of rockery, and gives you sort of that energy return. But I feel like they feel a lot more sort of firmer and probably good for casual wear. And it would be a sneaker that I'd like wear, for instance, casually, no problem. And I think they're comfortable as well. Like I said, they're not going to be soft and squishy because of that energy return. Like I've sort of mentioned earlier, I think it's one of those ones where they feel fine on foot, like both on the upper and both underneath. Like I said, not going to be the most soft or squishiest of things, but at the same time, it's got that sort of neutral, going almost towards neutral comfort. With the cons, the cost, £190. I think it's a lot of money for a sneaker. I personally wouldn't pay that much to run in a pair of sneakers. And if I was to keep these, I'd be keeping them for mainly for casual wear, in all honesty. But it's one of those ones where I'm just not sure it's worth the £180 price tag. So with the ratings, I'm going to give the look and style 5. I'm a big fan. I think it looks really cool and really unique, and like I said, harking back to the old days of Nike. And the comfort, I'm going to give it a 4. I don't think it's a 5 comfort. It's very similar to, I suppose, an Invincible Run 3. I just thought, I don't know, I was expecting more than what I got, but don't get me wrong, it's still a comfortable sneaker, but if you're looking for softness, then this isn't the one to get. And the quality, I'll give that a 4 as well. I think overall, the materials, the way it's been constructed is done really well, but it's just, not using anything special in terms of its materials, but I like the fact that they're using, 3 different technologies in there. And same with the pricing, I'm going to give that a 4. I nearly gave this a 3, but obviously this is more of a top tier type sneaker, but £180 is quite a lot of money for a pair of sneakers, especially for running. And that's why overall I'm going to give the score a 5 out of 5. I think overall I think it's just a really cool sneaker, and one of the most unique ones from Nike to release, and a lot of people have been sort of wanting these or talking about these, and I think even though I have issues with the pricing and maybe the comfort not being like anything above what they've already released, but just the overall look I think just sells it for me. I think it's just one of the coolest looking sneakers of 2025.